actually talked about this on this channel, but like, I mean, I will cover it again. Like, I'm one of those people who used to be very much so into like academia. Like, I don't know. I thought I was that person who thought like, oh yeah, like I want to be I thought I wanted to be a doctor. I was that person who was like, bound to be Meredith Grey. Even though maybe not Meredith Grey, maybe more like, hmm, I actually don't know. I can't pick one of the Grey's Anatomy characters that I relate to most, but I definitely did all the things. Like, I think I've got like at this point, maybe it's like 5,000 hours of like hospital volunteer experience in multiple departments because I wanted to be a radiologist. Um, so I just spent so much time like learning from radiologists and just being in the department, understanding how it works, reading research papers, actually doing research internships, multiple research internships. And here's the thing that I personally realized, like, there were certain things about my pretty privilege, certain things about my blackness, certain things about my perceived social class, because like I've said this many times, I come from a family of entertainers, not a family of doctors. And in spaces like medicine and law, there's like there's legacy. And what I mean by that is like doctors like to birth other doctors, and they like to like keep it like that. They don't really like new people coming into the flow, coming into the mix. Now the problem is, and I will go back to this video that I just watched. So I actually shared it, and someone made a comment on it, like, and they were talking about some of the themes in the video, but it was a lot of not a lot. There were three Asian, I call them academics. One was like a medical school admissions counselor. That's what he used to do. And the other one girl was I think she was like a student or something at one of the Ivies. And the first person was a girl who was basically just breaking down her own experience of like coming from an upper middle class like neighborhood, and then transitioning into foster care, and then moving into a primarily lower income neighborhood that was full of Black and Hispanic students, and how that has like impacted the way that she understands affirmative action. um Now I can only I'm talking about this from my own like personal lived experience here. Hold on a second. um the all of the career options right now that are available, unless you're like building a career for yourself, like one of the like social influencers or things like that like if you're unless you're doing something that's similar in some way to like Emma Chamberlain or Issa Rae, where I feel like those two people have like built things that just didn't even exist, or like Elon Musk, right, whether he's building like Neuralink, or Sam with OpenAI, like people who are building shit that it doesn't exist right now. So they're building lanes for the future that it's not things that currently exist. But if you're talking about going to college for something that like exists, like you want to become a doctor, you want to become a teacher, a nurse, a lawyer, something like that, something that we know exists in society, there's a direct career path to it. Like most people in society will be that, but those career paths are meant to better society, not the individual. And I think that that medical school admissions rep was spot on when he said that, because a lot of people are up here talking about like who's the best candidate. And he made a really good point that like the people who are applying to medical school are doing so because they think they have a chance of getting into medical school. So like they know these aren't just like a crackhead on the street being like, today I decided to go to medical school. Like it doesn't really work like that. Like these are people who have prepared, they've done like hundreds of hours of volunteer experience, research experience. They've gotten the best grades that they can get. Some of them have done post-bac programs, PhDs. They're already like really exceptional people. So how do you choose who's going to get in amongst like really exceptional people? Um that's really hard. So some of the people who are just thinking like it's like a test score. The other thing that's like really strange is like I don't think you guys understand how people, the way that these we see these athletes like training for basketball camp and training for like baseball camp. medical students and the people who are going to law school train like that. It's the same sort of rigor of training, but it's for academia or software engineers or people like that. Like it's the same sort of like the hustle is real. Like you're not hustling less just because it's just a different sector, right? It's like the people who are in sports, right? Like I'm not saying all of them would like not be successful if they try to go into certain parts of academia, like education. Being a teacher is really hard. Okay, being a software engineer can be really hard depending on the day. You know what I mean? Like being an getting into these programs is really hard for everyone. But there are some people like take this example. What if there were two people, right? And I'll just use sports because I feel like a lot of people understand sports. What if there are two people who wanted to be basketball players? Now, one of them is like Steph Curry's son, right? So Steph Curry's son goes to all the basketball camps every single year. He's got a trainer all day long. Like just like he's training for 12 hours a day with a trainer. And he just gets better and better and better because he has someone like guiding him and mentoring him and instructing him on like how to master the craft because he's already done it. Versus like some other kid who just has like a ball and a TV and he tries too, but he's doing this on his own. Like who do you think is going to be the better player over 5 years? I would guess it would be Steph Curry's kid, even though both of them probably put in the work. So they're both of them are going to be better than the guy who was like sitting on the bench for 5 years. That's true. But amongst those two people who both have been like just continuously doing basketball related things for 5 years, Steph Curry's kid has the sheer advantage because he had guidance and mentorship and all of these resources and privileges that put him in a position to be like so much better than everyone else. And I think like that is it's something that's like fair and not fair. It's one of the reasons why like I respect people like Kaya Gerber, because like yes, she's Cindy Crawford's daughter, but at the same time, I feel like she's earned her spot in the modeling world. So yes, she had quite a lot of privilege and access, mentorship, and guidance, but she's also very pretty and she's actually a very good model. Where I would say to me, someone like Kendall Jenner, maybe not so much, even though she gets paid more than everyone else now because she has social influence. So here my opinion doesn't really matter. Well, I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter. I think it does matter, but like right, it's not gonna cause her to get paid any less money. um but when we're talking about like affirmative action, especially in black and Latino students specifically, black and Latino students and communities and populations of really other poor Asian people, right, they also need like lawyers and doctors, and maybe they need them more than other communities, right, because like those communities are impoverished. But like if all of the students who are going and getting into these programs are just the ones with the high SAT scores, who are like academically gifted, who all want to go work in neurosurgery in Palo Alto, who's going to go work in the clinic in Kentucky? Who's going to go work in the like really rural town of Baltimore where there's like only black people? The schools and everybody who like shut down affirmative action has also like just eliminated the spots that were there for the people who need to go to the program to be able to go and work in those communities because nobody else is going to do it. Like all those kids who are now going to get in because like of their test scores are so high, none of those people have the morals, they're not making lifestyle choices that say I choose to go like work in Chicago where people are murdering each other every day. Like the white kid from Mountain View is not going to choose to go work in the like destitute community of Chicago just because he got into Princeton. Like that isn't going to happen. So who the fuck is going to do it? Because they just got rid of the spots. Like who's going to be the doctor there? If you didn't know, right now they just don't have any. Like there's hella openings for like in every single urban environment. They don't have enough. There's not enough people there's not enough therapists, there's not enough teachers, there's not enough nurses, there's not enough doctors in every single low income community of color all over this country. There's not enough. This is one of the major reasons why I just feel like I really hope that black women wake the fuck up and just realize like these problems, the funnels are never going to get fixed, right? Like the solution was there. Like affirmative action was the solution to help the when I made that video that was about, you know, what was it, like Callie, Monaleo, and who else did I put there? Summer Walker, right? Like all of those affirmative action programs are to help out the communities that those girls grew up in, that those girls come from. But they just took it away. There's not another program coming. Like the big idea here is for like those girls to somehow figure out a way to bridge a gap all the way to places like Stanford or Harvard on their own, because also there's no mentorship, there's no guidance.